And I'm learning now as a 25-year-old how to just see myself in my skin and my flesh and my blood as enough, and not to link it to the utility of what I think I provide to my friends or to the world, and to not get like concretized in my identity around what I perform or what I create or what I deliver for others, and learning how to just bring that back to myself. This is my last YouTube video. This video is video number 156, and if I do the math, this video will mark 3 years of making YouTube videos every single week. I didn't upload this video last week because it took me time to figure out how I felt about making these YouTube videos and what I thought I learned in the process of showing up here every single week. I mean, it goes long without saying, if you've watched any other video on my channel, that my life has changed in material ways over the last 3 years. And when I started this channel, I had no idea why I was making these videos. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to accomplish or what that journey would look like. I did have some grand assumptions or ethereal ideas of what it might look like after doing this for 3 years. Not many of those came true, but other things came true that I didn't expect to have happen either, like getting really comfortable just opening my throat and saying what's on my mind, not feeling like everything needs to be sterile or perfect or clean or make sense, and giving myself the permission to talk about things in a way that might appear vague to somebody who doesn't know me, and remind myself that I need to show up here in front of this camera and also in every other area of my life, first and foremost for myself, and not put pressure on myself to make sense to somebody else or to tell a beautiful, perfectly arcing storyline with all of this character development and all of these clear-cut points, which I did in the beginning of making this channel. I definitely made videos like that, and honestly, sometimes I still do. So it's safe to say that I learned a lot about myself that I wouldn't necessarily have figured out maybe without showing up here every single week. But before I go into like any of that stuff that I've learned by showing up here, or where I think this channel is going in the future, let's just take a step back. Let's walk through memory lane for a second and go back to April of 2020 when this channel started. COVID had just hit maybe 3 weeks before, and I remember trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life outside of my career, and knowing that I'm a writer and I want to write and I wanted to do all of this stuff. And I had been in therapy at that point for a few months, and I was working at this concept of trying to figure out who I am and what I want and all of this really meta stuff. And I remember being in my parents' house, because I lived there at the time, and sitting in front of the bar, and everything was quiet because there was nothing to do during the pandemic. There was nowhere to go except maybe going outside. And I remember in that quiet, in that peace, in that stillness, a voice fluttering up from between my two ears that just said, "You should make YouTube videos." And I'm here now, 3 years later, recording this because of that very simple, relatively benign thought that just percolated out of proverbial thin air. I don't know where that came from. It's never something that I'd wanted to do before, but I said, I'm going to listen to this voice that says, you have to do this, you have to try this. And that was it. I didn't question it. And so over the last 3 years, I've attempted to do that. I've tried to figure out how to talk to a camera. I've tried to get more comfortable telling my story, like my meta story about why I am who I am, and also all of the little stories that have gone in and served the foundation of my character and my personality and my charisma and the things that make me me. I've worked at figuring out what it is that makes me tick and what I've learned that's helped me heal. And then I pivoted and I realized like I was just being way too sterile and artificial, and I was trying to make vlogs that were seamless and had all of these edits to them, and that was really cool, but it wasn't me. And I realized in this grand irony that the very first video that I ever uploaded on this channel would become over time the type of video that I make today. That I did that video because I was just not putting pressure on myself to be a certain person or to show up in a certain way or to be perfect. I was just being me, unfiltered, and it was coming out from inside of me without any inhibition. And that's what I'm trying to learn how to be in my life today, 3 years later still, is just the girl who doesn't care about what anybody else thinks and is just being herself for herself first and foremost, and learning that that is okay, and learning that that's enough. Like, it's enough for me to just be me for me and not to be me for other people. And not in a vain way, not in a, I want the attention, I want the clout, I want people to see me in a good light, but because I feel like I don't really exist and I don't have meaning unless I am impacting other people in a good way. And I'm learning now as a 25-year-old, soon to be 26, how to just see myself in my skin and my flesh and my blood as enough, and not to link it to the utility of what I think I provide to my friends or to the world, and to not get like concretized in my identity around what I perform or what I create or what I deliver for others, and learning how to just bring that back to myself. I think I had an idea that after 3 years of being here, I would have way more subscribers than I do. I didn't necessarily think that I was going to pop off and have, a viral moment or to get a huge following, but I definitely thought that this would be something that had a wider audience than it does today. And I don't care that it doesn't have a big audience today. I think I've over time really learned to really value the fact that this community has been smaller, and to just give myself the space with a small audience of people who are going to view these every week to just be myself and to grow and to not succumb to the pressures of virality or having a big audience. Because if that had theoretically happened a year ago or 2 years ago, or honestly even today, I would probably feel the pressure to be something for other people, to read a sea of comments that are asking for, how have you worked on vulnerability in intimacy after your sexual assault? Or how have you worked on the deniability of your parents' role in your trauma? Like anything, I would have just been way too, you give me feedback and I'll make something about it. And this has allowed me really to make the forum that this channel has been in for the last, 9 months, 10 months, a year, something like that, where I'm basically just talking to you or to myself and just basically orating what would be a private journal if I felt compelled to write this stuff down. And that, I think, has been the hidden gem in all of this, is just learning that it's okay for me to just do this for fun and not as an obligation. It's okay for me to just come here on a camera every week and tell you what's on my mind and what I'm struggling with. And it's okay to be messy, and it's okay to not have a perfectly figured out story, and to not be putting pressure on myself or emphasis on making it something that's consumable or engaging to you, but really something that's going to fill me and that I'm making this for me. That's the biggest lesson that I have learned by making YouTube videos over the last cumulative 3 years, is just how to be okay with being me and how to view myself. And what I have to say is just being enough because I want to say it. And that's where the storyline ends. That's where the buck stops. And that right there is the reason why I'm about to take a break from making these YouTube videos, because I just don't feel like this is something that I'm showing up to without obligation at this point in my life. I set this goal to make a video every single week for 3 years. And even honestly, if you had asked me 6 months ago, like I was telling people this is the obligation, but I think I'm going to keep going after that because I didn't want to let other people down. I didn't want to lose this momentum of people who were here and who care to experience what I have to say. And I still don't want to let those people down, but I'm just in an interesting stage of my life right now, a stage where I'm writing a book that is taking so much from me, and also I'm trying to learn how to rest and just take life easy and take the pressure off of myself and stop doing things out of a sense of obligation and just figure out how to be way more go with the flow and easygoing and kind to myself. Because as much as I'll sit here and I'll make these videos about how I've healed and how I'm happy and how I'm changing and evolving, and all of those things are true, it is also true that I've never learned how to be kind to myself. It is also true that I have this deep-rooted sense, like below everything else that I talk about, that I'm just not lovable as I am because I didn't get love when I needed it as a child, and that has metastasized and swelled into the kind of life that I operate in now as an adult, where I'm always reaching out and extending, and it makes me feel like I am loved and I matter to people if I can help them. And I need to learn how to just do things from a pure sense of joy and love and nowhere else for now. There's times in life where we need to make sacrifices and everything can't go our way, but I'm realizing now that I just need to learn how to fill my cup for me and not for anybody else. And right now that looks like waking up, writing, going to the gym, but not beating myself to a pulp in the gym anymore, eating kind of whatever I want, which I also need to work on because I've been just binging, which is not, I'm not binging. Like, I hate using that word because it's very insensitive to people who actually have that as an eating disorder, but just like compulsive overeating, compulsive overstimulation, compulsive doing everything too much because I don't know how to slow down. Because when I slow down, I feel that core of unlovability in my belly rear up and seize, and it scares the crap out of me. And that's why I keep running and I keep writing and I keep just like, I should rest, but I'm going to crack open a Monster energy drink and drink that and then go for a walk in the park, or the music's going to be like, I'm constantly winding myself up and springing when I need to just learn how to slow it down. And these videos are really easy for me to sit down and record, but the process of editing and opening Premiere and just cutting clips, and then doing the timestamps where I have to watch like a full 30-minute raw video, and then I have to go back and I have to cut all the pauses, and I have to cut things that repeat themselves unnecessarily because it's boring, and then I have to go back and then I have to do the timestamps and watch the whole edited version back and write everything out so that somebody can follow along, because I don't know, I feel like that's just really important to people. And it's really important for the views too, because it makes it more searchable. And I hate that part, because that doesn't let me just come here like a journal where I just get to get this off my chest and speak and like not pay attention to anything else and just let it go. There's so much pressure or like energy sink to make this a presentable form for the internet. And I don't want to just upload these raw videos because that feels half-assed, and it doesn't feel like the point, because I would want somebody to come across a video and experience me in a way that makes sense and is approachable and clean. So I don't want to just upload raw videos, but right now it's just not worth the effort for me. So I'm taking a break. I don't know how long my break is going to be, but the point is that when I start making YouTube videos again, it's going to be when I feel called to. Like, I've wanted to make this video for literally the last 3 weeks because I knew this anniversary was coming. And this video was supposed to be uploaded last week. And then I was like, well, I'll film it on Monday. And then Monday turned to Wednesday. Wednesday turned to Friday. Now it's Sunday and it's 2 weeks later. And I just don't want to do this pressure on myself anymore. I don't want to make my life feel like something that is just insufferable, where everything's obligatory and I'm failing all of these expectations that I keep setting for myself because they just set me in a prison. They let me also just stay distracted from that core unlovability. And I need to learn to hold that feeling inside of me and just make that the focus, the focus of my life. And then, I woke up this morning and it's a little rainy and I feel like kind of in my feels. And I was like, it's time to make this YouTube video. And so that's where I kind of want to make these types of videos going forward, is just from that place within myself. I also, I released a couple shorts over the last year or so of my motorcycle. I think it's hilarious that this is like a mental health channel and those are the ones that have popped off. But anyway, I digress. Something that I actually would really like to do is make moto vlogs, like ride-alongs, basically. Because I love riding on the weekends, and I'm trying to get more, again, just like being free with myself, not having a route, not having a plan, not exacting everything, but just getting on my bike and going for a ride and getting lost, and just doing like a moto vlog where, I do like a ride along and maybe there's a topic or I'm just babbling. I don't know. I don't maybe need to have a topic, but that's like an intersect that I really want to get into this summer, is just, picking a topic or doing some kind of like, hey, this is what's on my mind as an adult right now while I'm riding, and doing something that's fun for me. And I already have a GoPro. I have a lav mic, so it'd be pretty simple for me to kind of get that set up. So that's another idea that I have. You might start seeing like ride along, like motorcycle versions of this kind of like journal setup right now. Going forward, that's something that I definitely want to give a shot. It bothers me for sure that I'm going to lose this consistency. I attribute, again, another sense of like my self-worth or reassurance that I'm good and that I'm not failing in life and that I'm healthy, by being able to consistently approach something. And so this idea that I'm telling you right now that like I'm only going to make a video when I feel like it, like quite literally just feels like my ego is just here barking at me in my brain right now. It's like, you're so lazy. Who cares? You're going to release a video sporadically, maybe once a month. Like, that's not how you're going to grow. And I'm like, come on, man. So it takes a lot for me to just sit here and be like, I don't think I can do this right now. And believe that, and also be at peace with that, because I'll hit pause on the record right now and I'm going to go throw this into Premiere and I'll edit this and I'll timestamp it and whatever. But then, to be sitting there with my two open hands at the end of all of that and be like, well, when people ask me what I'm up to and how busy I am, I can't really say, like, I also make YouTube videos. And that, for whatever reason, feels like it matters. And that's what I need to learn how to dismantle in my life, but it's still really hard to accept that about me. But that's the focus on my life right now, is just be with my community, spend more time with friends, expand, grow, learn, not reflect as much. Like, this is reflection right here. And I did this because I set out a goal to, and I'm proud of myself for doing this for 3 years, but I want more life right now. I don't want to be analyzing everything right now. I don't think my kind of brain needs to analyze anything anymore right now. It just needs to be out in the world, man. Like, write the damn book. That's enough reflection every single day of my life. Carving out those wounds and trying to hold them. But on top of that, like, I just want to do good in my job and expand in other ways. Like, I'm doing improv and I want to sign up for a dance class. like hip hop, and I'm learning how to do calisthenic stuff, and my friends in the gym are teaching me how to hold a handstand, and I'm just liberating myself, you know? I'm trying new things, I'm getting out there, and I'm trying to make my life a bounty. And all of that is energy. And I would much rather put my life energy into expansion like that than reflection right now. And that's why I'm going to kind of just take a break from YouTube until I feel compelled to make a video again. And I don't know when that's going to be, but I can tell you that deleting the reminder on my phone this morning that says upload video, that goes off every week to remind me that I have to make these and upload them, felt like really good. And that's just where we're at. So I'll keep you posted as I kind of figure it out. But that's where everything has taken me. And I did learn a lot making these YouTube videos. Really just learning how to sit here and talk and believe that what I have to say matters to myself and to you, and to not care about the fact that this is going to be floating on the internet forever. Like, I actually thoroughly think it's cool. Like, it is really cool that I have these just journals on the internet. And I don't care if I don't have 100,000 subscribers or 1,000,000 subscribers, or like, it just is what it is right now forever. I really don't care anymore about that. Haven't cared about that, honestly, for like a long time. But to just know that like somewhere in like 50 years, if YouTube's still around, someone's gonna find these videos and be like able to go back and just binge watch them and be like, oh my God, that's where I am. Or, oh my God, she got through that. And like, oh my God, like I'm a journey. I'm like a video journey through life. It's like the Truman Show. And if nothing else, that has been really cool. And I love that. And I needed this. I really did need to show up here to learn that I deserve to take up space on the internet, and that I have things to say, and they will matter to somebody out there, if not for everybody, you know? But outside of that, I just want to give you a big thank you. The comments that I have gotten, though they have been few or sparse or sporadic along the way, some people have left the most beautiful comments on these videos for me about how I said something that they resonated so much with, or they had never heard somebody say before, and we're in an exact same place, or thank you for making me feel so seen, and prove to me that people are actually watching these through and through. And I think maybe it's just all these random people who are getting a video recommended to them through YouTube and watching like 6 seconds of it and bowing out. Like, that means so much to me. So whether you have been here for a month or 3 years, whether you've seen all of my videos or not, I'm just so deeply appreciative of you for being here and shepherding me along through this journey, whether or not you realize that that's what you've been doing, because you have been. Those nuggets to wake up and get a email from YouTube that says new comment on so-and-so video, and to just be wherever I am when I open that, whether it's at work or at the gym or in my apartment, are the most beautiful morsels of joy that I could ever imagine having in this life. And there's something to me so special about receiving those from strangers on the internet compared to my friends, because I kind of know what I do for my friends. And it means a lot to me to hear them say, I love you, Ari, for XYZ reasons, or thank you for being you, and whatever, and whatever. For some reason, that doesn't enter me as much as just the random person on the internet. I think because I just believe that I am shouting into the void when I make these. And when the void shouts back and tells me that somebody's on the other side of that, it means more to me than you'll ever know. So if you've ever made a comment on these videos, or if you've been watching and you've just been like a lurker and you've never really said anything to me, just know the thought that you're hearing me say this right now, and I am somehow speaking directly to you, communicating right with you, means more to me than anything that I could possibly say to convey that truth. Just thank you for being here, and I love you from the bottom of my heart, truly. And if you did make it to the end of this video and you are one of those people, I'd really appreciate it if you just dropped a comment, and even something like super simple, like, hey, I heard what you said, just so you know. Just because I don't know. I think that, and it would be really nice if you're here. So, yeah, but no pressure. It would just mean a lot to me. All right, that's it. It's been a good run. We'll see where life takes us after this, but I love you. Thank you for being here and part of my journey. And I'll talk to you when I talk to you. I'll see you sometime soon. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.